but I mean, it's so refreshing compared to like every other sports show where they're just like screaming. And like you just see such a difference of like the conversations he has with the actual athletes.
Well,
and I think they trust him. They know he's
right. Not gonna hang him out. The thing that always kills me is when they come on and they got to have their resume below.
Okay.
Played 7 years in the league. If I don't know who you are, you're so different.
I definitely think he had the 4 best teams.
I was looking at the other side. The other side of the bracket.
Yeah, I mean there's a big difference between like 4 and 5. Right. I mean Jesuit does a really
afternoon and welcome to today's game for the Big Five.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Magnolia High School in the beautiful city of Magnolia, Texas, for the Class 2A THSLL State Semis here on Game On Sports. I'm Heckman Harrison alongside Dalton Jernigan and Jim Dixon. And guys, this is a deja vu game between two teams that have seen each other quite a bit. And if I go back to last season, Mother's Day weekend, this was the matchup before the state title that took an extra inning to be won by Highland Park to be able to go to a state title. Dalton, you were there with me, and tell me, what were your impressions of that game, and what do you think about this game today?
Well, this is going to be an awesome game.
This is going to be an awesome game. Certainly, that was a tale of two halves. Really a tale of 3 quarters and 1 quarter, where Highland Park came out, they were well prepared, had the momentum, and then ESD really turned it on the final 4th quarter to drive the game into overtime. Catching up with Coach Southern, that was one of his points. He's like, we got to play a full 48 minutes, and Coach Pretzler also echoed that call.
Yeah, this is two coaches that obviously when we get an opportunity to talk to them, they have been looking forward to this matchup ever since that last game of the season, which was won by ESD, Jim.
Yeah, ESD ran away, but didn't run away. It was tight, but certainly ended up on the upside of that. But it's just kind of funny how two squads basically in the same zip code had to drive 3 hours to get this thing settled, and here we are in Magnolia. And I think it's because they heard breakfast was good.
Because they heard breakfast was incredible. And in between the pipes for Highland Park is number 16, John Allen.
Looks like we had a little bit of nerves there on the first face-off. And I think a big storyline is going to be some of the individual matchups. ESD's Gatchel versus Parker Addison. Both of them have been a little banged up, but they're coming into this game. And then just getting some other guys healthy and helping ESD's depth with some of their freshmen like Michael Golia and Hudson Young.
When we talked to Coach Pretzler, that was one of the things that he did say, Dalton, is that they did not have their best shooter in Parker Addison. And Parker Addison, number 8, the guy with the ball right now, one of the players to watch for the Highland Park Scots.
Well, heck, he's not only one of their best shooters, but he is definitely one of their best initiators. Really look for Paxton Smith and Parker Addison to initiate the offense and run by some of these ESD defenders.
Name that you probably need to get your eyes on also is number 28, Harrison Brown, a freshman for the Scots. Coach Pretzler was glowing in his compliments of the freshman and the way that he's come on here for this very young Scots squad that is the THSLL 2023 champion. As they take their time on offense, and that's a run to the inline taken now by ESD. Now on the other side for ESD, I will tell you this with no equivocation. Number 10, Sean Brown. Make sure you watch this guy. He is big time. He can score at any time.
So Dalton, these two teams matched up earlier, on that final game of the season with a 1-goal separation. What personnel changes could shift this either way for either ESD or HP?
They played pretty recently, so I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of changes. I think it's going to really come down to winning your individual matchups, and then also, how healthy is Gatchel, how healthy is Parker Addison. We're certainly another matchup we're going to watch, as you mentioned, is Sean Brown going against Keller Holmes, who's going to be heading to Jacksonville next year.
Hudson Jones defending from behind X as ESD starts their rotation. Great job defensively for the Scots. May have found a guy right there at the crease, but that's an errant pass. Goes over the top of the recipient, and now the Scots have another opportunity on offense here to begin the first quarter.
Great look by Monotero on the ESD offensive possession. Just a little high there.
Yeah, and both squads on these possessions, not really how you want to finish out, particularly coming out of the gate early. But these adjustments will settle in, and these matchups that we've talked about will come into play. Also,
number 8 in between the pipes for the Eagles. Number 8, Connor Kowalewski. ESD getting their offense set up.
One of the things we talked about to Coach Pressler that he felt like he needed to do is they have a really strong defense, but they played a ton of defense last time. They need to get deeper into their shot clock to give their defense more of a break, so using that entire shot clock.
Josh Logan with trying to find his way back topside. That ball goes out of bounds, and possession staying on this end with the Eagles. But you're right, Dalton. He did express his displeasure with the amount of minutes that they spent playing defense. I got to give these guys a break. A lot of opportunities for shots for ESD that only won that game by a score.
Real tough ground ball there by Hunt Sands, saving the possession for ESD.
Again, trying to work their way inside. Bouncer and score. Javier Montero and with the score for the Eagles.
Yeah, Montero just with his hands free, crow hopping in, had a lot of distance and just built that momentum up. Just ripped the top part of the net.
And that was a really good job offensively. They played all the way down to 5 seconds left, kicked it out to the right wing. Montero with that sidearm, we like to call it a sladink. Those high bouncers are going to be really tough for that goalie to respond.
You learn something new every day.
A sladink, is that like the slurve?
Well, a sladink is just a sidearm, but you're going to shoot it outside of the crease.
I'm going to save Jim Dixon's number under that.
Sladink.
And that's what you are. My man, this Mother's Day weekend is showing a lot of love to each other up here in the booth as ESD draws first blood with the score. Montero with the bouncer on John Allen as the Scots look to return fire. Substitutions being made. Paxton Smith on with the initial shot, and then Kowalewski welcomes it with the save.
That was a great job in the early offense, Highland Park there, taking advantage. We call that a jailbreak in the substitution game, but relatively easy stop for Kowalewski.
I mean, don't you kind of opt? You want to opt to see these guys maybe take that extra step, get more, get closer into the shooting lane, but nice shot selection regardless.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good range for him. That's something else that, Coach Pressler talked about is guys understanding whether an 8, 12-yard guy. Paxton Smith certainly is going to be a stretch shooter, but I would have liked to see him change planes, maybe go high to low there.
Goglia with the pass attempt. They get themselves in the alley. That's number 4, Hunt Sands.
Good piece by John Allen there on that save.
Finley Lear bringing the ball inbounds. Lear trying to find himself topside, reverses.
And typically, you want to attack the shorties. We're seeing a lot of that with these matchups and the offensive personnel from the midfield carrying behind, which is what we call an invert. That should theoretically be the weakest part of the defense. One of the matchups we would like to see is really from the defensive personnel side for ESD is Jackson Pennington. He's really been their tone setter this year.
Jack McCallum working through for the clear. And the guy with that, when we talked with Coach Pressler, he said he's the coach's MVP. Is number 23, Jack McCallum. Could not talk any better about number 23 and the job that he's done this year. He's a guy that does all the dirty work for the Scots, the things that don't make the stat sheets. Number 23 does it, and it shows up in film study.
Well, McCallum's had an awesome year this year. He's an all-district player for him. But also one of the stories that Coach Pressler told us was, he was planning on just going to OU, and he's had so much success. He was like, hey, you got to go look and play college lacrosse, and he's going to be heading off to Rollins next year.
I think when Coach Pressler tells you, look, man, don't go to OU. You got to continue your lacrosse career. You listen.
But that's the thing with the competitive levels of college lacrosse. If you want to play, there's a place to play.
Duncan Zilke working behind X, finding his way back inside, getting to Parker Addison. Addison being defended over the shoulder shot from number 8.
Really good job at change of direction. You saw him actually utilize his elbow when he was rolling to kind of push off that defender. Look for him to continue to do that to get some more leverage and slip inside.
Yeah, he just missed that thing by a postage stamp on that top corner.
6 seconds left in the shot clock. Look for an off-ball screen, or it looks like they're just going to dump it. Take advantage of some extra time to get their defensive personnel on the field.
Dumps it in the far corner. ESD bringing the ball into play. Press is on for the Scots. And simple clear. Therefore, the Eagles working their way back inside into the mouth of the goal. A little BTB action. Cam Conradi trying to make the highlight reel.
And you certainly want to match up, and you got a slide body to Conradi. He's one of the best athletes for ESD. He's going to be an all-state midfielder for him and heading off to St. John's next year.
Yeah, you really don't want to allow a player like that have a free run and be able to take liberties on your goal with that behind the back.
Finley Lear back up top to Javier Montero, who scored the first points in this game. There's a hustle for a ground ball. Back behind X, standing on the goal line, extended on the other side is an Eagle. Easy save for John Allen.
Now, Dalton, you talked about substitution matchups. How important is working through the gate? How important is it they're set up, and how deep are they set up to make these substitution packages?
So you certainly don't want to give either team transition, like what occurred right there with Conradi. Like, he's one of their best offensive initiators. You don't want him to have an uneven situation, so it's really important for these middies to get back right away. Also, look for the goalies, wherever they see the shot from, getting it up and out to that defensive midi, because the momentum are going in opposite directions. You can create some transition there. But both coaches has mentioned how important it is in the clear game. They're going to want to be clearing the ball 90%, and they're both doing a pretty decent job here so far.
Jack McCallum slips down, but able to remain with the possession. On the far side, that's Harris Sands trying to work it down to Parker Addison. Ball is tipped. Possession staying on this end. 16 seconds on the shot clock. 3:22 left here in the first quarter. Parker Addison coming across the screen.
Yeah, ESD does a... Oh! ESD originally did a really nice job on that matchup. That's what we call a big little, where you bring a short stick behind to try and get Parker Addison on that short stick matchup. Almost capitalized, but a big stop by ESD.
Duncan Zilke with the possession on the near side. GLE, the reset of the shot clock. Ball comes off the head of the stick of Zilke. He loses the ball last minute, and another possession for ESD as they hustle. Ball goes out of bounds. Possession.
And those are certainly momentum killers, Jim, like we just talked about in the clearing game substitution. You just played really good defense. You had some hard slides there by Langston. You put the ball on the turf. You got to clear it the first time.
Well, and that's what we talked about in the first game. I've always talked about that. If you don't settle the ball on the stick, or it's just a 50-50 ball on the edge, all you're doing is making an extended play, and you got to resettle. It just kills you.
Any of those second chance opportunities offensively, your chances to score increased by 70%, and HP almost capitalized. It was a really nice dodge by Paxton Smith coming over the top.
Paxton Smith with the shot attempt for Highland Park. Another save by Kowalewski. Kowalewski again with a few saves already here in the first quarter. A minute 56 left. 1-0.
Yeah, both these goalies just make the whole game just look effortless. And that's not single play by each goalie. It's team defense and the way they position and the way they force the offenses to the edges.
Well, these two are certainly some of the top goalies in the state. That's why you got John Allen, for example, heading off to Ohio Wesleyan. But they also, you can make an argument, they have the best defense in front of them. I mean, HP's got commits going to Jacksonville, Lafayette, Ohio State, Bucknell, all Division I commits.
Hudson Jones trying to work the bouncer inside, not able to get that one behind Kowalewski. Hustle to the end line, and Kowalewski comes all the way out of the crease to get the possession for the Eagles.
Kolotsky's doing a really good job inside, matching stick to stick and stepping to the ball. And it looks like he's really starting to heat up for the Eagles.
Yeah, as a goalie, really all you're trying to do is cut that cage in half.
Well,
make the best guess, and then step out to shut those lanes down.
It looks like ESD got away with it all sides there.
They sure did. Sean Brown working behind X, being defended by number 11, Keller Holmes. .22 seconds left here in the first quarter. Sean Brown on the move, the UVA commit. And if you're standing field level with Sean Brown, you see a guy that is so physical and an impressive specimen.
And Keller Holmes is doing a great job matching his physicality.
And that is the end of the first quarter. ESD ahead by a score as they draw first blood to get this Class 2A champ semifinal started. This is who wants to play for the championship on Sunday.
Now, Heckman, you said end of the first quarter. I looked up and I was like, I'll be dang, that's the end of the first quarter. This is a heck of a game.
Yeah, and this is one that has flown by. Game On Sports Network would like to thank one of our sponsors for the weekend, Big Bag Carts. They do custom golf carts with only the best parts the industry has to offer. From mile to wow, they can do it all. From their offices in Salina, Texas, check them out at bigbadcarts.com. And that's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back for the beginning of the second here on Game On Sports Network.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
We're not powerless, so long as we don't lose sight of what's important.
Don't be afraid to seize that moment to talk to your friends.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space.
The first step on our new journey. You coming?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
ESD making their way back onto the field for the beginning of the second quarter. So far, Dalton, this is a game back and forth. The Scots not able to execute their offense, not at the same level that ESD did in getting a score. But what are you seeing here from the Scots?
Yeah, so Highland Park is doing a good job getting penetration and running by the defenders. They're just not finishing in front. They got to shoot better. They got to throw in some fakes to get the goalie off of his line. And then ESD's offense, they're doing a good job of using the entire 80 seconds, the entire shot clock. They're doing a nice job of being pretty methodical on the offensive end.
Cooper Tilden with the win at the faceoff. And that's an area that Coach Pressler, when we talked to him about this game, he said, look, it's got to be at the face. We got to set the tone at the faceoff and get these possessions. Ground ball there taken by Boyer.
I thought Boyer was going to pull up for sure and let that fly.
Boyer runs off as Paxton Smith comes on.
And that's something you don't see too often. The long pole continue to stay on the offensive end, especially down here in Texas. But that really just showcases Ben Boyer's ability. He's got one of the best sticks as a defender and can be an offensive threat.
Yes, he is. And that with the long pole, you don't see that often. That's great assessment there, Dalton. Dalton Jernigan. Morris Hill, great. Play some professional lacrosse.
No, just commentate.
Nah, come on now. I Googled you. Don't do me like that.
I wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, come on now. There's a bit of a scrum. And the shot attempt is off. Which highway is that one going towards, JD?
249.
249?
It's got to pay the toll.
Right now we got Highland Park rolling into a 10-man.
With the 10-man ride, they could be dangerous. You see the goalie all the way out of the crease, making his way back as there's a hustle for the ground ball.
And that was a great check down there by Donovan Riley.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Was that goalie again?
That was, and that is a score from ESD. How weird was that score?
Well, actually, the best way to bust a 10-man is just to shoot it at the cage. And you saw Golia start to get behind GLE so he can get that shot off. And then they just do a good job on dislodging the ball, and that's just a great hustle play in between the lines.
Yeah.
ESD was on pressure all the way down, and just very fortunate on the roll in, and that's one of those knife things on the 10-man ride, and you leave the cage open, and those little quirky things happen.
As Dalton pointed out, the 10-man ride bringing the goalie all the way out of the cage. Easy score there for ESD. Don't want to call it lucky, but boy, that was a lucky bounce, and they're ahead by 2 scores, 9:46 here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that really just came from a check. But yeah, 10-man ride is going to be equivalent to your full court press and basketball. Typically, you tell guys when they get above the 30 in the defensive end, just take a shot at the cage, but they just get that off riding the ball, and the ball bounces into the net.
Cam Riley working from behind X for the Scots, being defended by number 17, TJ Gatchell. Brian Rapp making the move, coming across the screen, set by Duncan Zilke. Working back behind X to number 8, Parker Addison. Addison trying to get his hands free. Great defense. That's a shot that's going to go behind.
Yeah, and on that previous possession, Pennington came up and just shut that thing down. Forced that back through X for another rotation.
Looks like this is a timeout taken by ESD. The McKinney Police Association is raffling a vehicle at their annual charitable golf tournament. This tournament benefits officers during trying times. Those trying times include injuries, severely sick children, and many other things that tend to burden officers with expenses out of their control. You can assist with this great cause by purchasing a $100 raffle ticket for your opportunity to win a brand new Cadillac CT4. The winner of this vehicle will be announced on the day of the tournament, which is May 24th, 2024. You don't need to be present to win. Go to www.cognitive. cognitiveforms.com, NEP Services/Crest Car Raffle to purchase tickets. I'm going to have to read that again to do a little bit better on that, but I did my best.
You fought through it, but I couldn't have made it. I couldn't have made it. That's too long.
It's a $100 raffle to support our officers, but then on top of that, you get the Cadillac CT4.
And for $100, that's almost like stealing a car, and then you can say you stole a car from the kitty police.
Jim, I don't think that goes together.
But it's all how you word it.
Okay. Okay. So here we are in the second quarter, 9 minutes left.
Back to lacrosse.
Back to lacrosse. Thank you, JD, for covering up my bad read with that. We're stealing cars from the police here.
Yeah, Jim's encouraging a grand theft auto.
We don't want to do that, Jim. But this is the time right now. If you're the Highland Park Scots, the momentum on the other side for the Eagles. And hadn't seen these guys hang their head as Carter Sutton brings the ball into play. Want to see the Scots get on the board. Harris Sands working back inside the bouncer. Harris Sands with the mail.
Yeah, he drifted in. That hasn't been open. That slide left that open for him to just kind of drift in. And he popped that on that top side post.
Yeah, HP does a really good job taking advantage of the short stick matchups. And then Harris Sands with that little S dodge where he slips underneath the defender, goes to his weak hand, and is able to put that in the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole thing. When when you have the athletes that are on this field and you can go offhand on a goal like that, that pays dividends.
And more importantly, that was the best job we've seen HP changing planes inside to throw Kowalski off that read.
Now, I got to ask you this, Dalton, as you see number 11, Keller Holmes out on the – you can tell Keller has the assignment on Sean Brown. They're saying that, look, you're not going to do it today, and we're going to put our best stick on you.
Well, he's doing a good job of just being fundamental and just playing physical, not trying to chase any sticks. And this is not only – we're talking about some of the individual matchups. One of the matchups I'm the most excited about is the offensive coordinator for ESD, Ryan Brown, versus the defensive coordinator for Highland Park, Matt Dunn. They've known each other, gone against each other for a long time, starting back in high school. Ryan Brown, Calvert Hall, Matt Dunn, Loyola Blakefield, and then Matt Dunn, Maryland, Ryan Brown, Hopkins.
These guys should be tired of each other. Seen a lot of each other. Benton Owens trying to cut off the guy before he gets topside, and what a shot attempt by number 33, Josh Logan.
Great patience from Logan, rolling to his weak hand to get that shot off, but excellent save by Jonathan Allen.
Well, these guys they've matched up through college and now here in these high school programs, and they should be sick of one another. But they just get together and talk about how great Duncan is back home.
You know it.
I don't know about Duncan. I mean, they're probably more Wawa guys.
Yes.
Certainly crab cakes. They're both Maryland guys. Got to show them a little love. Maybe some Natty Bows.
Sean Brown trying to make the pass.
More Wawa guys. Okay.
That's a big deal on the East Coast.
It's a differentiator.
There's no Buc-ee's.
Trying to work the clear, finally getting there, Hudson Jones. HP with an opportunity to tie things up. Timeout taken by HP.
Yeah, look for Coach Pressler. They had a lot of success last time on that short stick invert. Excellent job flipping the field and then reattacking the other short stick matchup.
You could tell it's obvious that Highland Park has found something here that's giving them a lot more juice offensively and defensively. Mike Pressler's made an adjustment. Have you noticed the adjustment that he's made from the first quarter to the second?
I think, a lot of it's probably more the players are settling down, the nerves. And then you saw them try to start out with some inverts early in the first quarter, but they're just being more patient, probably getting back to what he spoke to us about on playing the entire shot clock. not just attacking and trying to take the first shot you see, but getting the best shot. Ideally, in the offensive end, you want to generate 3 to 4 slides before you get a really good shot, or to put it in basketball terms, a layup.
Well, and back to your point, I think that they're settling in. They're just not pressing. They're settling in. They're doing what they're executing the way they've done all season long.
Yeah, and everybody gets those first quarter kind of jitters. So I'm already getting some texts about that McKinney car option. So you guys did a good job.
Awesome.
JD to save the day.
Man, I could sell a raffle ticket now.
Oh, my God. Carter Sutton working from behind the X.
Yep, jumping right back into that short stick invert.
Finding Parker Addison triple team. Can't find an open cutter. Boy, was he looking. Harrison Brown working back behind X. Sutton has the short stick matchup. Harrison Brown spin moves, finds a guy. That's a shot attempt by Paxton Smith.
I'll tell you what, Koloski's done just an incredible job on the effort plays. We've seen him going out of the cage, getting ground balls, backing up shots. He's really probably saved them an extra 2 or 3 possessions just from his effort outside of the crease.
Yeah, just a high IQ player is number 8. Again, working the clear are the Eagles. They find it, have spacing, opportunity for the shot. How about the rear check to bring that ball off the head of the stick?
That was a great trail check by Ben Boyer there. Just keeping that stick on the back shoulder and coming down, not with a big wind up or trying to go over the head.
Yeah, I mean, Canradi got loose and he didn't panic. He didn't lose focus. Just ride along with him. Take your opportunity when it comes.
Yeah, he's just got to have those spidey senses out there and just recognize that defender, especially with a long pole, when he winds up, keep that stick in tighter. Not as big of a wind up. Looks like we had a little bit of a mishandle. It's going to go HP's way.
Unforced error on the side of the Eagles, and possession going the other way for the Scots. 5:32 left in this first half, and this game is flying, guys. Very cleanly played game also. Not a lot of penalties here. Ball going out of bounds, possession going the other way. So favor being returned by the Scots. ESD with another opportunity on offense. Ball in play. Sean Brown on the far side being defended by number 11, Keller Holmes. Ryan Rapp switching. It's a guy you got to stay close to. Finding the alley, and how about that? Painting the corner is ESD.
He dropped that thing into a space about the size of a dollar bill.
Well, it does a really great job. It starts with Sean Brown recognizing that short step matchup, and then Hunt Sands fading to a shooting spot, and then just a great quick and release. He goes low to high, beats John Allen.
Yeah, Allen was set up in the box and just felt like he had it. Just didn't, no need to step out, cut that angle, and just beat Allen with that top, and great place to drop it.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult for any goalie to stop. I mean, he's probably about 7 yards, and reading that, because his stick head's down low, goalies are taught to read the release of the ball off the plastic. That's going to be difficult for any goalie to make that stop.
Difficult. I'll give you difficult. It's impossible. That's just a shot.
And he does a really good job on staying there and not biting and keeping his stick up, but Hunt Sands put some speed on that.
Yeah.
4:37 left in the first half. ESD with another opportunity on offense. Cam Conradi pulls back, gets it back to number 10, Sean Brown. Sean Brown, Keller Holm matched up the whole time, and that one stings the pipe.
Sean Brown does a really good job just using his length. He got by that defender and brought his stick straight up, so it was out of the reach of Keller Holmes to throw a trail check. almost put that one past.
Javier Montero with the pass behind to X to Sean Brown, trying to get topside, turning back inside with the shot attempt, possession staying on this end.
Yeah, that was a great question mark shot attempt by Sean Brown.
Coming across the screen. Josh Logan getting it back to number 15, Cam Conradi.
And it looks like ESD's already made a matchup change, and they're pulling Michael Golia.
A crease violation. Crease violation, possession going back to the Scots. When we talked to Coach Pressler, Dalton, one of the keys to victory, he said on defense was to limit defense. You got to be strong on the clears and stay out of the box. So far, those are all three things that they're starting to check off, but they're still down by 2.
Yeah, and I think it's just, the third point he brought when we asked some of his keys to success was having to be great shooters and understanding your porch, which would be your range. They've certainly adjusted that. You saw that with Harris Sands, who's actually cousins to Hunt Sands.
Yeah, McCallum on a nice dodge had that lane open up and drifted a little bit high and outside on that top post.
Parker Addison with his hands free elects to pass to Duncan Zilke.
That was a great look by Parker Addison, maybe a little high, but ESG is going to be well prepared. Coach Kutzer, who's the D coordinator, certainly knows they want that look, and they do a great job crashing down.
Callum inside, another trying to catch and release for Paxton Smith. Extra opportunities here to end the first half. As whistles are blown.
There might be an adjustment on the shot clock. Did you see if that went off the cage or not? They might have done a reset there.
I didn't see him signal.
Yeah. Looks like we had a timeout.
Yeah, timeout called on the field. They take a timeout. We're going to do the same in return as play resumes here on Game On Sports. .245 left in the first half. Heckma Harrison alongside Dalton Jernigan and Jim Dixon for the Class 2A semifinals between Highland Park and ESD. These two teams are very familiar with one another. ESD winning against Highland Park on April 25th. Score that was 6-7 at home at the Gene and Jerry Jones Stadium on the campus of ESD. Rematch for the state semis from last season. And so far, ESD getting the better of Highland Park here in the first half. Harris Sands. Bouncer attempt taken by Carter Sutton. Ball out of bounds, possession.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job. They're flexing in and out of a 2-2-2 and a 2-3-1 set and really trying to attack these shorties. You got Parker Addison right here on the short stick matchup.
And again on that,
man, that's a killer.
What's that?
I'm sure Coach Presser wasn't happy about that. That's the matchup. I mean, Jackson Pennington is certainly one of their best defenders as a short stick, but you had your best offensive player on that short stick, and it looks like they're setting it up right now with a big little.
Recognizing Coach Sutherland, he makes the adjustment immediately. Screen on the other side. Parker Addison trying to run through traffic. Duncan Zilke back to Sutton. And that's what you need. Number 8, PA all day. Parker Addison delivering the mail.
Yeah, Addison just showed on that far side as Kaluski settled in and just opened up that inside post. And again, another just diamond cutting shot that you drop it on a postage stamp.
Yeah, they do an excellent job just really being patient and then flipping the field. Excellent ball movement by HP. It causes ESD to rotate their defenders to allow Parker Addison to get his hands free, and then he's piping that from 7 yards out.
Cooper Tilden with another win at the faceoff. 1:35 left in the first half. Highland Park pulling to within a score.
One of the things that has been interesting, catching up with Coach Southern earlier this week, he had talked about, we get a little transition here.
Finding it inside. Parker again with another shot and another save there by number 8. Finisher point there, Dalton.
Yeah, so one of the things, ESD probably not as strong at the faceoff compared to the other 3 teams here. That's something that has hurt them, and just being creative. That was one of the things Coach Southern had talked about, is they needed to be creative. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're saving that for the second half. Watch ESD start to probably put a pole up there, and that's something Coach Pressler said, hey, we practice this. This is what we think we're going to see in this game, is ESD getting creative on the faceoff.
See them pressuring right there on Sean Brown. Not able to come up with the loose ball is Keller Holmes. 30 seconds left here in the first half. ESD pressing. Back to number 10, Sean Brown. Big body question mark shot. John Allen standing in the line of fire. Hudson Jones on the move. 15 seconds. Parker Addison. Spin move. Back inside. Paluski with the save. Going back the other way. Numbers for ESD. And that is the end of the first half. What an emphatic pace to end this first half. And I'll start with you, Dalton. Both of these teams, I would say ESD started out hot, got some lucky bounces, executed a lot there in that first quarter, but you started to see HP start to make up the difference in that second quarter.
Yeah, HP started to settle down, really used that entire shot clock to take some pressure off their defense. But we saw them carry into those short stick matchups, and when they invert from behind and swing the ball and attack a defender who's rotating from a slide package, that's when they've been successful.
JD, this has been one of those games that obviously the momentum is key, but it's hard to tell who has it right now.
No, and each team came out and kind of played rough first couple of possessions. I still go back to, that the little miscue on the 10-man ride is the differentiator, and you don't get to take goals off, but it was kind of one of those fortunate breaks for ESD. Otherwise, we're playing even, and you go back to the adjustments that you talked about, and we've seen a lot of times schools on different levels, they have to go to halftime to make these adjustments. Both Southern and Pressler are able to make these things on the fly because they've anticipated them, and they've put those wrinkled in the game plan, and he just pulls out, okay, Card, we're going to go with number 2 now. He's making these adjustments on the fly, and that's where depth comes in, and that's where coaching comes in. This is a great game so far.
This is a chess match of coaching, and if you love high-level lacrosse, this is it for you. It's the THSLL Class 2A State Semifinals. They take a break for halftime. We're going to do the same thing in the booth and return for the beginning of the third quarter here on Game On Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to recognize a couple of all-state and all-district players for both teams. For ESD, Sean Brown, Senior, attack. ESD, Senior, all-state player, Conradi, Conradi. For ESD, Junior defense all-state player, Luke Mauser. ESD Senior midfield all-state player, Javier Monterio. Senior LSM all-district player for ESD, Charlie Newhoff. For ESD Senior attack all-district player, Hunt Sands. For Highland Park, we'd like to recognize Parker Addison Jr., all-state attack. Highland Park Senior goalie, all-state, John Allen. Highland Park Junior LSM, all-state, Ben Boyer. Highland Park Junior midfield, all-state, Paxton Smith. Highland Park Junior defense, all-state player, Harrison Wheeler. Highland Park Senior defense, all-district, Keller Holmes. Highland Park Senior all-district player Hudson Jones. Highland Park Senior midfield all-district Jack McCallum. Highland Park Senior photo all-district Cooper Tilden.
the third quarter set to start here for the THSLL Class 2A State Semifinals. Heckman Harrison alongside Jim Dixon, and the steps will get the better of you guys. Let me tell you, the hustle was real, but got to get into this, Dalton, because we know that Coach Pressler is pulling double duty. This guy is responsible for the draft also. Give us some information on that.
Yeah, so we got a chance to catch up with him. He definitely had a busy week. He's not only the head coach, but the general manager for the New York Atlas, which is the premier lacrosse league. HP is his full-time job. But, you know, they had their draft, and then it was a quick turnaround with a free agent draft, and he talked about some of the personnel. I mean, this has been one of the most rich drafts in professional lacrosse, and the fact that they were able to pick up, you know, Connor Schellenberger, who's been an outstanding and a cornerstone piece of University of Virginia, and then also picking up Entman from Notre Dame. I mean, he's definitely the best goalie in the draft, and it was great to get some of that inside knowledge from him. And one of the things that Coach said is, when you get a chance to get the best player at their position, you got to get them. And that's certainly what they did with their 5th pick and selecting the Notre Dame goalie. And then he also got a chance to kind of tell us a little bit about the free agent draft. Got some connectivity there. You know, he mentioned about picking up Tim Troutner, who's the Vandergrift coach, actually. Ronan Jacoby, who's actually a 3D kid, led Wesleyan to a national championship, NCAA Division III, and then went on to his 5th year to Rutgers and had an outstanding career there. And then picking up a Canadian, Reed Bowering, who plays in the NLL, Vancouver, and he's one of the best ground ball guys, or in box lacrosse we call him loosies, loose ball ability in the league.
So we're set to start here in the second half. Another victory at the X for Cooper Tilden. And that just goes to show everything that you're talking about, Dalton, just how busy Coach Pressler is, not only with his responsibilities at Highland Park, he also runs all of the youth leagues as well. So, and also the draft in the PLL. Busy man in putting his imprint on lacrosse and definitely growing the game here in the state of Texas.
Running it from kindergartner to guys getting paid money.
That is Mike Pressler. Substitutions being made coming across here early.
You know, ESD did a good job in preventing Cooper Tilden on that face-off by putting down Newhoff on the wing to stop that fast break transition.
Parker Addison with the, Paxton Smith to Parker Addison behind X Harrison Brown. Back inside, Paxton Smith working his way back inside. Diving at the crease is number 21.
Interesting, they're still leaving that short stick matchup against Paxton Smith. He did a great job going right away as soon as he caught the ball.
Parker Addison turning back inside. Kowalewski with another save.
And we've seen quite a few question mark shots between Parker Addison and Sean Brown. The defense is doing a good job. Looks like HP is rolling back into that 10-man.
Staying with it, not going away from it. Trying to apply pressure, and they break that press easily as HP collapses back down into defense.
And that was a great high IQ play by Hunt Sands. He thought about pushing as Allen was trying to get back in the cage, but as HP crashed, he decided to pull it out and allowed their offensive personnel to get on the field.
Yeah, that's where, you know, aggression on offense is going to, you really want to think about on a team level how to best approach that. And as you said, high IQ decision making.
It looks like ESD, we got a little laundry on the field here. Looks like ESD is going to go up on extra man offense next time we have a dead ball.
They're running around the screen one-on-one. John Allen with an opportunity. Possession going to the Scots. It's going to stop the clock and also give the Eagles the man-up opportunity that Dalton was just referring to.
Yeah, I think they might have gotten Benton Owens with a hold penalty there. Or correction, Donovan Riley is going to be going off to play Division I lacrosse at Jacksonville or Lafayette.
Let's get the numbers right. I believe
it was number 2.
Yeah, you had it right the first time. Benton Owens.
Should have told me to shut up and stop flapping my
It's
gums
okay.
there.
It's all right.
Let you run.
Let you go.
You're right like 90% of the time. So.
Here's the time. I never stop JD, so I'm not going to stop you. You're good.
Well, you know what they say. 60% of the time, it works all the time.
That's right.
I'm going to give this McKinney police read to you then. As ESD with another opportunity, man up offense.
Yeah, and ESD is flexing in and out of that 3-3 offensively. High bouncer.
Again, Hunt Sands finding the mark once again. ESD opening up the second half with the score.
Yeah, HP was running a 5-man, was doing a pretty good job in the rotation. ESD, excellent job on rotating the ball, not letting the ball die in your stick, and then just a well-placed shot by Hunt Sands on the high bouncer.
High bouncer there by Hunt Sands, and again, back up by 2. 8:58 left here in the third quarter. Cooper Tilden down at the X and flip out to the wing to Carter Sutton. And they're dominating at the face-off is Highland Park, but
and when that happens, the rule of thumb is you just can't let them generate offense out of the face-off and breaking it out the front, and they've done a really nice job doing that.
For 7, Brandon Lilly on for the Scots. Lilly running across the screen, set by Hunt Henry. And penalty burn now by the Scots. Duncan Zilke on the crease, pushing him inside as the flag comes out.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. That seemed like a little bit of an iffy call there. Gatchell was doing a nice job squeezing him. I think they're going to get him a push with possession. Duncan Zilke doing a good job selling that for sure.
He definitely did, because Gatchell, TJ back on his back and pushing him through the crease.
And if HP can counter on this extra man opportunity, just like ESD, they can bring it within 1.
Well, I think the whole key to that was Zilke knew where he was, where his defender thought he was maybe not as far into the goal crease as what he was. But definitely an advantage that Highland Park needs to be opportunistic here.
Fake ball trick there by Parker Addison. Again, 32nd man up opportunity here for the Scots. See if they make a pay. Jack McCallum standing around the crease. Paxton Smith with the laser shot. Jack McCallum bringing the ball in play. Circling behind X. Finding a man inside, and you are not going to stop that one.
No, I think it actually caught him off guard, and you see Kowalski just kind of patting his chest. Hey, that was me. That went stick side. Great job by Harris Sands putting that past him. I think he caught him a little bit off guard, just stepping in there.
Hey, that's going to be something to talk about at the Sands family reunion. Yeah. Both of these guys are out here playing ball.
Well, Kowalski was set up where he needed to be. He dropped down low, and that opened up that little window between his head and the pipes.
Cooper Tilden.
For them to pop in.
Sorry about that, JD.
Okay.
But Cooper Tilden with another win at the face-off. Free play here for HP. Ben Boyer again, as you pointed out, Dalton, down on offense.
And Pennington's doing a nice job being patient, staying on his hips, not trying to take away the ball. Sometimes you get guys to do that.
Hey! That's what you need. Number 6, Brian Rapp, working across the hash. And just like that, we are knotted at 4s.
Well, you've seen HB get those jailbreaks looks on the substitution game, really trying to generate some offense, and they were able to do it there with Brian Rapp.
Yeah, Rapp just had a nice lane to run in. Nobody closed him out, And there was a, ESD was coming in late, trying to back check, just couldn't get there.
Tied at 4, 7:02 here in the third.
And since that was a personal penalty, HP is going to be man up. If it was a technical penalty, they would have waved it off. But since it's personal, HP is going to have another advantage here to have a man up opportunity.
Heightens the importance of this face-off as well, because if you get the win at the face-off, you get an opportunity man up offense. Cooper Tilden has been doing a wonderful job as the Fogo for the Scots all season long. Zach McCallum.
Just like you draw it up.
5 substitutions being made.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to generate any transition when you're already man down. Elfison did a nice job just getting a little bit of pressure and then crashing in so they could set up in their 5-man, man-down defense.
See the rotation on right now for the Scots. On to get a cutter. Look at Duncan Zilke. They find a guy in between, just not able to get it inside, is Parker Addison. Working on the outside. CESD in and around the crease. Found a man. He loses the ball last minute, does Harrison Brown. As a hustle for the loose ball. Now an opportunity now for the Eagles to burn the penalty.
And it looks like HP is going back into the 10-man.
Keller Holmes coming across again. ESD pulling that ball out. They want to burn this penalty to be at full strength, and I believe they did. That's a good job by the Eagles.
And they've done an excellent job going against that 10-man of just really being patient, getting the ball to their athletes, and legging it up the field.
Well, and you've seen them, they can kind of change pace, but obviously, as you said, more effective with getting the ball to the athletes and getting them upfield. But they've beat it on 3 passes. They've faced that 10-man ride and done an effective job with beating it.
Yes, that was a pass inside by Sean Brown, and they find the bouncer and the flag. That is what you call an and one. ESD. Finley Lear with the score.
Well, and that all starts with Michael Golia. He does a great job sneaking up and then pulling it out because he recognized that wasn't going to be a really good take. Dishing it over to his teammates. Lear with an excellent face dodge and one.
And the score waived, and the penalty, I believe, is waived off here. Or will it be the same as before for like the Scots? On that previous penalty.
It depends on, I think they called probably a legal body check. I couldn't hear the officials, so it looks like ESD is going to have a man advantage.
It should be personal. It came in after the shot, but great dodge. He just slipped. He slipped his one man. Everything opened up. Everything that crashed to the middle was wide open for him.
And since that was after the whistle, after the play, there's not going to be a face-off. ESD is going to start with possession on the offensive end.
5:18, interesting spots the Scots find themselves in. They're in man-down defense, and another opportunity for the Eagles to go ahead by 2 scores. After the Scots stole a lot of the momentum at the beginning of this third quarter, ESD wants to take advantage. Sean Brown working from behind X, looking to facilitate the offense, and that's a turnover. Ball is out, 1-on-1. Boy, great check there.
And run out by Allen.
John Allen with the hustle.
Those inside looks can be tough. Sometimes we use the term fool's gold. He looks open, but you got to consider, will he have time to get his hands free to get the shot off before the defenders can check down?
Yeah, and pressure late to get him tied up.
Sean Brown trying to work his way back inside for a shot. Opts out for the pass. 4:22 here in the third.
And that was excellent job by the all-district senior, Charlie Newhoff. who was on the offensive end, telling the offense to settle down so they can get their offensive personnel on the field.
Now we're all knotted up. Penalty burnt on the other side for the Scots. Another opportunity on offense here for ESD. Trying to work through the screen on the far side is Scaglia. Back to number 33, Josh Logan. That's a shot that's going to go across, out of bounds. Possession going to ESD. Let's give the angle to Finley Lear.
And that was a great job by...
Great defense on Brown. Ball comes out and right into the head of the stick of an Eagle. Patience now by the Eagles.
Going to have to get it off soon. Only about 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Look for ESD to either dump the ball or maybe set an inside pick and jam it into the crease.
Yep, they just elect to dump it to the other side. Ball will be brought back in play by number 2, Ben Owens. And I tell you what, Dalton, the Scots avoid disaster there in that man down situation defensively and the turnover. Out of the clear, and that's an errant pass by number 33, Ben Boyer. Ball going the other way.
Yeah, they're looking for that quick run on that wing, and just a little bit behind the lead man.
Trying to work the clear. Pressure being applied now by the Scots, and favor returned on the errant pass.
Yeah, and actually that time HP didn't even roll in their 10-man. They dropped back into a 3-3 ride. That was the right look. The over, that defenseman, it could be difficult trying to read the bounce. It's always a good idea to just use your body and smother that ball instead of trying to go for it and missing it and going out of bounds.
Well, and we had the benefit of seeing this from up top. You're down on field level. You know, you're used to getting the 10-man ride, and then they pull off it, and you're kind of turned into your own enemy.
Jack McCallum trying to get back top side. The defense, the slide, just not allowing him to get there. Plenty of time here on the shot clock for the Scots. Minute 55 left here in the third quarter. ESD ahead 5-4. This is the Class 2A semifinals. Harrison Brown trying to get back topside. He makes it. Elects to pass.
And that was a great job by Mauser there, getting a check on his hands to disrupt that pass.
Callum back to Sands. Sands delivering the mail.
The Hattie. That was a great job just getting that defense to rotate. And then, I mean, Harris Sands has just been hot today. If he gets his hands free, he's putting that in the back of the net.
Just that lethal step, just tearing it up.
Yeah, and that all starts with McCallum drawing that slide to get the defense to rotate to allow Harris to get his hands free.
5 apiece, minute 29 here in the third quarter. This is feeling eerily familiar to a game that I've seen before. I've seen this before. I feel like I've seen this movie. I've seen this movie.
Well, momentum, not as much of a game of runs as the last time, but we certainly could be ended up in extra innings.
Procedure, who are you going to get it on? They're going to go the other way. They're going to get Cooper. Minute 20 left here in the third quarter. Defensively, seeing the adjustments made by Highland Park. See Donovan Riley defending out far on the perimeter. Running around screens. Communication error there. Boy, looked like they had an opportunity. Working inside.
And Donovan Riley did a great job crashing down on that off-ball cut so he couldn't get his hands free to get a shot on cage.
Saw the miscommunication. Dalton on the other side running around the double team. Scott looked like the miscommunication. Oh, Brian Rapp puts on the brakes. It looked like ESD had an opportunity, but like you said, that's a big-time recovery defensively. 22 seconds. Brian Rapp on the other side. 10 seconds. Carter Sutton setting the screen. 5 seconds. Cam Riley. Shot and goal! Highland Park up by a score. 2 seconds left.
Just zipped that in that 5-hole.
Yeah, and it looked like Koloski got a piece of it. Unfortunately, that just trickled past him.
Oh, he definitely got a piece of it. It went from about 95 to rolling in at 10 miles an hour, and that was just rolling.
Highland Park takes the lead for the first time in this game with 2 seconds left in the third quarter.
Talk about playing to the last shot. 2 seconds left of the clock.
That is it. At its finest.
Well, and that goes back to the adjustment. I mean, a lot of times that'd be a timeout. Hey, let's set this up. They're rolling in transition. They already have it scripted up. They know what they're going to do.
And that is a shot attempt taken at at half field by Jack McCallum. And that is the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter is upon us. And Dalton, the Scots battled their way back through some bad defense, through some penalties to get ahead by a score.
Yeah, we certainly saw a lot more penalties. I don't think we had a single one in the first half. The big adjustment there was, they hadn't been penetrating with their typical go-to guys like Paxton Smith and Parker Addison, and HP adjusting that and attacking more with McCallum, Carter Sutton, and then getting that defense to rotate and just moving the ball, which has allowed Harris Sands to get his hands free and has got the Hattie here today.
On the other side, JD, if you're ESD, you pretty much have dominated through three quarters and on both ends, defensively and offensively. How do they get back to their three quarter of their ways, basically?
Yeah, so what you saw in this, particularly in this third quarter, was, as Dalton talked about, the goalkeeper for ESD, he's stealing 2 possessions a game. Well, they gave those 2 or 3 away just with sloppy play. That little bit of execution, tighten those things up, and those goals are going to start falling in your favor.
And it's really been the broken plays or in the gray,
right,
that where Highland Park has started to generate, whether that's in the transition game. They got 2 that quarter there. They got to get back to just playing settled offense. They tried to force the crease a little bit, clean up the penalties, clean up, those fool's gold opportunities, and I think they'll get right back into it.
Who wants to play for a state title?
And it looks like ESD's now mixing it up on the face-off. They get a pull out there. Look for them to press out and really pressure the ball carrier.
And Cooper Tilden is a man on an island trying to find an outlet. Finally gets it to Ben Boyer. Boyer to Duncan Zilke.
And HP retains possession, but now we're almost 50 seconds left into the shot clock before they're even setting up their offense.
And showing the pressure applied there on the face-off. Winning the face-off, but a lot of time coming off the clock.
But that might not be a bad thing when you get the lead.
Absolutely. Jack McCallum working from behind the X. He slips. Ball comes out. Possession going to stay on this end. Harris Sands. Going back to Parker Addison. Addison has been facilitating a lot of the offense. Back to McCallum, and that's an errant pass. Going to bang off the shin of McCallum, going back the other way to ESD.
Yeah, and right as that happened, I was going to make you a hero, Heckman, because we're going to talk about how they were going to take care. Highland Park was going to take care of the ball, and they were upset about the amount of defense.
What a timeout by Coach Southern. Saw that defender coming crashing down to dislodge the ball, and just gets the timeout in time.
If you're Coach Pressler, are you not upset about that? I mean, how do you get that to – it almost happens simultaneously, the timeout and the check.
I think it's actually going to be more kind of a mutual kudos to you on calling that. Because that is a skill set, knowing when the timeout. You see so many times where you didn't call it and they turn it over, or if you call it and then the team ends up scoring after the whistle. So I think there's probably going to be a little kudos there.
The McKinney Police Association is raffling a vehicle at their annual charitable golf tournament. This tournament benefits officers during trying times. Those trying times include injuries, severely sick children, and many other things that tend to burden officers with expenses out of their control. You can assist with this great cause by purchasing a $100 raffle ticket for your opportunity to win a brand new Cadillac CT4. The winner of this vehicle will be announced on the day of the tournament, May 24th, 2024. You do not have to be present to win. Go to www.cognitoforums.com/NEP services/Crest Car Raffle to purchase tickets. How you like that?
Excellent job.
That's a read.
And if you don't win one, just call up Jim. He'll help you get one at a reduced price.
I'll lift you one to the discount.
Yeah. Whatever you do, ladies and gentlemen, don't call Jim. His wife is cringing right now as we're back in play.
You won't even tint the windows. You'd be so proud you stole it.
And it looks like Coach Pressler mixing it up and Coach Dunn throwing a little zone here at ESD.
Mixing up the defense, a little bit of the chess match that we talked about to end the first half. You knew it was coming. This is a game of adjustments. Back over to the far side to Sean Brown. Sean Brown with the pass to the middle of the field. Again, staying disciplined to that zone are the Scots. Hunt Sands, guy that's had himself one heck of a game as well. Sean Brown working on the outside. Shutting down. What's the reason for this, Dalton, when you do go from that man to zone look?
Bad.
Well, it was an excellent job by Hunt Sands stepping in there with the bouncer to put that past Allen to tie up the game. But to your point, you know, they've done a good job in terms of just playing matchup defense, 6-on-6. A lot of times it's to disrupt the flow of the offense. And I think that's why Coach Pressler threw that in there. He's been known for running zone throughout his collegiate career. So no surprise there.
You mix it in, but then what I just saw was just the patience on the other side for ESD to work it down and find a way to get that open shot opportunity. They found the lane and took full advantage of it. Hunt Sands with the bouncer and the score. Another victory at the X by Cooper Tilden. I think right now this is the percentages are way high on the side of the Scots. Trying to work that clear. How about the defense there for the Eagles? As you see Donovan Riley, he cannot believe that he lost that possession.
And then a turnover in between the lines right there, trying to push transition. I think that was Keller Holmes did a nice job of getting a stick in the passing lane to disrupt that pass. Looks like ESD might be throwing a little 10-man as well.
Ball goes out of bounds. Possession going the other way for ESD.
And that's a successful 10-man ride by ESD, creating the turnover.
And trying to work the clear easily. They get through on the other side. Number 9, Javier Montero. Montero working in between the hash and the numbers.
Tell you what, those cowbells are really going.
Harrison Cullum defending from behind the X. Talk about walking the chalk inside again. You better get a guy on number 4.
Well, you just got to cover any of the Sands out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Working inside over the top of the cage, and they hit him again with another bouncer. Josh Logan from about 15 yards out with the score.
And that's just excellent ball movement by ESD. If we were doing the NLL, if we're doing hockey, you got to give a lot of credit to Sean Brown on the hockey assist who created the original slide and then dished it over to Golia, who kicks it up top to Logan to step in with another bouncer.
Well, and both these squads are unflappable. I mean, they're gonna go into rotation. If it doesn't happen, then they're very patient. We'll just go back out. They'll create something to happen, and that's where it worked out.
Cooper Tilden trying to return the favor, calling his number. Another win at the face-off for number 17.
And that was a great adjustment by Tilden. He knew if he wanted out the back, they're going to press off the adjacents and really press him. So he just popped that out of the front, really showcasing his hand speed.
Now on the far side, the Scots, Carter Sutton. Dancing behind X, getting it back out. Paxton Smith way inside. Going back to the freshman, Harrison Brown. 30 seconds.
That's a good take by Carter Sutton there.
You have the angle. Possession is going to stay on this end with the Scots.
And a little bit of adjustment. Now they're putting Parker Addison in the inside and using some of their other personnel to initiate. Watch him try to get open in the inside or roll off to get into a step-down shooting position.
Look at the slide coming immediately on Brown. Brown elects to pass out to Carter Sutton. Two-step, trying to find the corner. It's Paxton Smith.
And he did a really nice job. He had Koloski guessing. Koloski was going and motioning like he was going to go off-stick hip. Shot just a little wide.
Harrison Brown trying to get back the other way, and Oluski with another save. Going the other way, ESD. 6:40 here in the fourth quarter. Eagles ahead by a score.
And again, these matchups through the gate, they're going to set the pace. They got the personnel they want.
Javier Montero now working down behind the X, being defended by number 14, Harrison Cullum. Cullum slips and falls.
And you got Lovejoy going against Highland Park B. 8 seconds left. Tied ball game, 8-8.
Got the Scots battling here in Magnolia on two fields.
Cressler's managing a game that's 2 miles away.
Well, it certainly helps when you have your Class B head coach Zach Colburn, who's in the U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Was a great player for Penn. Had a long time with Team USA, and certainly one of the greats.
You just script it out and go.
Well, yeah.
Here's what we're gonna do.
You just let him go to work. He's seen more lacrosse than most folks I've ever met.
Brian Rapp working from behind X. Again, this flag comes out. Cam Riley with the shot attempt. That goes out of bounds. Possession going to stay on this end.
So it's not just depth on the playing ranks. They have depth in the coaching ranks. They're unbeatable.
You don't find too many Hall of Famers out there to come coach your other varsity squad.
Yeah, just pick up a phone.
Get a 1 minute cross check here from ESD. Got number 9, Javier Montero. He's going to get an opportunity to sit in the sin bin that takes a shooter off of the field.
Little cross-cut action there by HP.
For a cutter, you see Harrison Brown coming across, back inside. Paxton Smith, back to Zilke, back to Brown. Another errant pass. Brown not able to handle it. Goes out of bounds. It's a turnover going the other way.
Looks like HP's rolling back into that 10-man.
10-man ride. Then applied, trying to force the turnover.
HP almost had that double team there. but Pennington doing an excellent job just running it out, freeing his hands.
And you look at the Eagles, just another opportunity for them to burn the penalty again. Javier Montero, one of their best shooters, right now sitting in the penalty.
Yeah, that's a huge stop for ESD's man-down defense.
Hudson Jones cutting off space, not allowing top side.
Yep, looks like they're continuing to go into that short stick invert.
And finally burning the penalty is ESD, so we're at full strength. Montero in, back to number 33, Josh Logan. Logan already with a score in this game.
Going to have to go quick. Only about 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
8 seconds trying to get this inside. Montero looking at the score, and that is going to be a shot clock violation. Credit the defense of Highland Park.
Well, and granted, the shot clock violation, but you know you're still sitting in a situation where you're up
by a score,
and more importantly, they were able to kill the rest of that penalty.
Very true.
They're going to have to get it over across here quickly.
Burn the penalty. Finally get it across.
And it looks like might have had an offsides there.
Offsides. Offsides. Great call there, Dalton. You see the offsides, and ESD going the other way. 2:55 left here in the fourth quarter. The Highland Park faithful on the edge of their seats as ESD has a one-score lead, 6-7.
Yeah, ESD is going to probably really work this shot clock down, trying to get a shot, bring the game under 2 minutes.
Javier Montero being guarded by number 10, Hudson Jones. Hudson Jones working the backside, and that's just a misdemeanor.
Well, Hudson Jones has been an outstanding defensive midi for Highland Park all year, and you see why he's going to play at the next level.
Just nice play to ride him into that edge and come through the top side, strip the ball.
And that's a clear by number 2, Benton Owens. And timeout called by Highland Park. 1:54 here in the fourth quarter. And Dalton, if you are Coach Mike Pressler, you had 1:54, you're down by a score. You cannot waste this offensive possession.
Yeah, I would say typically you'd want the ball in the stick of your best offensive personnel. But I think, obviously, Parker Addison coming off that injury probably doesn't have that extra step like he had in the beginning of the year. So look for them to utilize either, a Jack McCallan to invert from behind. They've had a lot of success, and just rotate the ball and get it to either Parker Addison or Harris Sands to get their hands free. They've had a lot of success stepping in.
And on the other field, HPD2 just beat Lovejoy, as that's the first victory by Highland Park. I'm sure everyone just got the word here in the stadium that D2 just pulled off the victory.
And Zach Colburn showcasing why he was the Class B Coach of the Year, leading the Scots to the state championship his first year as the head coach.
I'm sure that's why Coach Pressler called the timeout, was to let the guys know.
No, I think he's kind of focused on his squad right now.
Hey, fellas, you know what happened over there?
Jim, it's 1:54 in the fourth quarter, 7-6. ESD with a 1-point lead over HP. And this is a little bit of the oxygen being pulled out of this stadium. See the slide coming immediately. McCallum getting it back. Harrison Brown, the freshman, coming around the screen, set by Duncan Zilke. 36 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time.
Yeah, Highland Park just needs a mistake-free possession here. Do what they came to do coming out of the timeout, but just focus on mistake-free ball.
Yeah, it looks like Harris Sands was trying to set up a razor pick for Parker Addison.
McCallum back around. Now you're under 10 seconds. Back over the top and couldn't find it. And coming all the way out of the crease.
And that was just excellent defense by Mauser, just on his approach, getting in his hands right away so he couldn't get his hands free to jam it inside.
And this is the 10-man ride, as you talked about, Dalton, and they are going to do everything to try and get a turnover. Finally out. And that's the insurance goal. On the other side, Jackson Pennington with the score, 37 seconds. And ESD goes ahead by 2 scores, as you see number 25 working into the alley, and a laser shot.
Well, and I don't think you see too many of those from Pennington, who is one of their top defensive personnel as a short stick D midi. That was one of the things Coach Southern talked about earlier this week. He is the tone setter, and you see certainly why.
And Jackson Morris in between the pipes there for the Scots, and what a shot there by ESD. And number 25 recognizing the 10-man ride. He had plenty of space and opportunity, but Morris could not get settled back in between the pipes in time to stop that shot from hitting the back of the net.
Now, fortunately for Highland Park, you got Cooper Tilden. He's one of the best face-off guys in the state. It is not uncommon to score 2 goals, as crazy as it sounds, within under 40 seconds. Look for him to pop it out the front to push transition, either to take it in himself if there's no slide, or to dish it to the point attackman.
Because Heckma, no lead is safe.
No lead is safe. No lead is safe. We've seen that enough. And down by 2 here, as Coach Pressler has his guys on the other side trying to devise a plan. And as you said, Dalton, the way that they have been taking these face-offs, expect for number 17, Cooper Tilden, to win at the X.
Yeah, if I'm ESD, I'm certainly, putting in a pull up there. Ellison's done a great job on just kind of preventing those fast breaks. Who's the going to go play Division II ball at the University of Tampa. Well, also on the wings, you got to make sure you have those wings back. Look for ESD to put their wing defenders on the 40-yard line to prevent the fast break.
Yeah, really, if you're ESD, you just want the ball rolling around on the carpet and have your wings come in and clean things up and at least slow down Highland Park's offense.
And it looks like they put one of their best athletes, Conradi, on the wing to stop that fast break.
Eddie Ellison. Cooper Tilden with the win at the face-off. Another pass. It's going to go past Paxton Smith. Trying to get inside. 22 seconds left. They have to do something quickly.
Yep, they're going to go quick. Somebody's got to get open off ball.
13 seconds. Possession going the other way. Nope. Timeout called. Another timeout called here is Coach Pressler talking to Carter Sutton. Carter Sutton took that last shot. Man, this has been one heck of a game. The back and forth from the first quarter down to as we approach the end of the fourth, JD, this has been a pace.
It has, and ESD. ESD won that 1-goal game back in all the way back in April, and they're looking to apply the pressure and do the same here, and you got to wonder, ESD they have it in hand. What does Highland Park have to do to step up and make this thing, and I think it's just a foregone conclusion at this point.
Yeah, HP is going to have to attack right away, get some off-ball picks or seals, and get a shot off probably within 7 seconds. That should give you, another 7-8 seconds, 6 seconds to get it down the field, and they're going to have to win it out the front But ESD, I mean, really, what I would have to, if I had to pick one word to define ESD's play, is just poise. I mean, their composure, you've seen it offensively, you've seen it in the gray in between the lines. That's where they've really executed here today.
Well, and as you said, the mistakes, they didn't get down on their mistakes. They rallied and.
That was a great look. Duncan Zelke utilizing that off-ball pick.
Another save. And that is the end of the game. ESD with an opportunity to play for a state title with the victory over Highland Park.
I mean, that was just an excellent game. We know this is a big rivalry. One of the things Coach Southern said, it always comes down to a 1 or 2 goal game. It comes down to the details. But both of these teams have had an excellent season. And just to see, especially how many college commits playing in this game, they're going to go play at the next level, whether it's, Sewanee Division III, Tampa or Rollins Division II, or, Division I, UVA, and Lafayette and Jacksonville, I think is just super impactful for growing the sport of lacrosse here in Texas.
Yeah, I am just thoroughly impressed with both squads. Highland Park, they had their opportunity to run away with it a couple of times, and ESD just hung around. And ESD both, as you said, Dalton played a flawless game or a very composed game. They didn't get down when errors occurred and stayed in it and just an outstanding display of lacrosse here in Texas, and THSLL should be proud to have this be one half of the Final Four at this higher level.
As you see both teams meet in the handshake line, again, ESD 8, Highland Park 6. And just piggybacking off of what you said, Dalton, I think that's the one thing that I take away from the ESD's performance is their poise. The way that they played, they were never in a rush, and they took the strength away from Highland Park. Their shorties, their attackmen, they made sure that they had the right pole at the right time on those guys. They did not let them get off. And it was from another cast of characters that had to get those scores for Highland Park. And, man, they continued to battle, but every time they got a score, ESD found a way to match and get another score. And there was those moments where they had the man up, man down situations we saw where Highland Park escaped, dodged a bullet a couple of times, but it just felt as though the momentum was never going to escape ESD. And ESD gets an opportunity to play for the THSLL AA championship tomorrow here at Magnolia Stadium. As they make their way get off of the field, we have another game coming. Even better, it is going to be Westlake versus the Woodlands here at Magnolia Stadium. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back for the beginning of the third game here on the THSLL state titled championship here on Game On Sports.